Great Lakes Prepping here with your weekly prepper report for the week of November 22nd, 2020. So what's in the news this week? More COVID-19 shutdowns. As of this week, several more states have shut down most non-essential businesses, including dine-in services at restaurants, as well as all sorts of other things such as non-essential workers who can work remotely should be doing so, things like that. Kind of same stuff we've heard before, but it seems to be happening according to mandates more and more frequently across more states as the days go on. Taking it a major step further, California and Ohio have instituted full-on curfews that mandate citizens be in their homes between 10 p.m. and 5 a.m. and businesses be closed during the same times. There may be more states on this list by the time you see this video. New restrictions and mandates are coming out pretty rapidly to the point where it's kind of hard to keep up with. Related to the pandemic and the fact that so many people are out of work, there are reports of massive lines at food banks and other food assistance operations around the country. For instance, in New York, the news has been showing videos of people lined up for blocks and blocks to get basically a few groceries. It's shaping up to be a pretty sad Thanksgiving for a lot of people out there. And for me, it's kind of a two-part lesson. First, keep up those food preps. If I couldn't buy another grocery starting today, I'd stay fed a lot longer than the average American. I don't want to be in food lines, standing out in freezing weather with 1,000 other people hoping to get maybe a small bag of groceries, some vegetables, milk, eggs, whatever they're giving away. Probably depends on the day and what's available that day. Second, it makes me pretty thankful for what I do have. I'm not a rich person, not anywhere close to being so. But I'm warm, I'm safe, and my belly is full. Anyway, a lot of people are struggling and hungry right now, and it's probably going to keep getting worse before it gets better. And winter isn't even actually here yet. It's going to be a long winter for a lot of people. As far as civil unrest or other chaos somehow related to the election, it's been about what we've come to expect. Protesters clashing with counter-protesters, some violence, some arrests. The latest was a pro-Trump rally in California's capital, where there was reportedly some light scuffles and at least one larger brawl. But I'm still not seeing burning cars or roving hordes marching down my otherwise quiet street, so I guess I'm good for another week. One last thing I'll talk about that's related to COVID-19 and the pandemic. Basically, because of the record-breaking numbers and the hospitals being overwhelmed, there's apparently a wave of doctors and nurses who are either quitting or already have quit or are pretty much on the verge of walking out. This isn't good for a number of reasons, and I know every time I even hint at the pandemic in one of my videos, I get a handful of very passionate comments from people berating me for buying into the scamdemic or the plandemic or whatever we're calling it. I don't know what to tell you. Hospitals are bursting at the seams with dying people. If that's not from COVID, then it's from something else that nobody's talking about, which honestly sounds way more terrifying than it being for the reason that literally everybody is talking about. I'm not somebody who implicitly trusts government or mainstream media or any other kind of media or my uncle on Facebook or anybody. I'll apply critical thinking, basic reasoning abilities to whatever information is coming at me. I appreciate the discourse and the commentary and the discussions. I'm always up for conversation and even a lively debate. But we're going to disagree on this one forever. The people watching this who just outright believe that it's a hoax or fake or whatever. If that's your viewpoint, then that's your right to have. Just like my viewpoint that the pandemic is real and that people are dying from it is my viewpoint. So, if at all possible, let's respect each other's viewpoints on this. And if it gets nasty like it has in some of my past videos, well, I don't know what to tell you. I'll tolerate some level of nastiness, but when the slurs start coming out and the real hateful stuff, I'm going to end up deleting those comments because that's not what this channel's about. Sorry. Freedom of speech extends to my freedom of not having that kind of speech on the channel that I own. Anyway, the point is, people are sick and dying, and the people who are tasked with providing medical care are burning out. Whether or not you believe that the virus is a big deal, having half the nurses and doctors quit on the day you happen to have a heart attack doesn't bode well for your heart attack. This is bad news for everybody, for any kind of health problems or medical needs, and that's about all there is to say about that. Let's talk about the supply chain. You know, our country is dealing with a pandemic, a contentious presidential election, and perhaps worst of all, from what I'm understanding, a Jersey Shore reunion. But the thing I'm paying the closest attention to on a day-by-day basis is the state of the supply chain and the availability of groceries and essential products. If anybody doesn't realize that we're in the middle of another shortage caused by panic buying, I'm here to tell you that we are. Every day I'm seeing pictures and videos from grocery stores and big box stores all around the country showing the paper product aisles completely barren, and a lot of other shelves looking pretty sparse as well. Walmart, Costco, Sam's Club, Target, Kroger, and a lot of the big chain stores like that. It's the same story, not in every single store in every city, but definitely it's spread out pretty well across all types of these bigger stores around all the different states. I've mostly been able to find what I need or want at my local grocery store, with the exception, of course, of things like toilet paper and paper towels. Fortunately for me, I'm pretty well stocked on that. And I'm also pretty well stocked on yeast. But anytime I'm at the store, I take a little look to see if they got any. And it hasn't been on the shelf at my local Kroger since probably March or maybe April. I have seen plenty of yeast at some of the more smaller and specialty grocery stores around, as well as on Amazon. I've purchased yeast for a couple of friends and family members from Amazon, and seems to work just fine. I've also been able to order latex gloves online for the first time since about April. They have been available here and there, but the prices are at least double what I used to pay. Around $24 for a box of 100 gloves compared to about $11 last year for the kind that I like to buy anyway. It's pretty crazy. Okay, let's talk about some interesting deals. What's interesting to me is that while a lot of products are experiencing a new wave of shortages, you seem to be able to find deep freezers again. I'm sure inventory is limited at any one store, and you'll probably want to jump on it if you happen to find one that you like at your store. But it's good to see that stores have some of these in stock again. So let's talk about some good prices on deep freezers that I'm seeing. Target has a 5 cubic foot chest freezer for $149.99. That's a pretty good price. But the brand is Galanz, Galanz, which I've never heard of. But it seems to be in stock, and the price is right. So maybe it's a good deal. Home Depot has a Magic Chef 3.5 cubic foot chest freezer for $138. They also have an 8.7 cubic foot Magic Chef chest freezer for $278. Both pretty decent prices, even in non-corona times. Honestly, I'm looking at a lot of decent deals from all the usual bigger stores. Lots of different models and manufacturers and sizes of these chest freezers. Target, Lowe's, Walmart, Best Buy, Home Depot. If they're sold out at one of them, chances are that you'll have good luck finding one at one of these other stores. But of course, they're gearing up for Black Friday shopping, and I really strongly suggest that you at least get yours ordered before then, if not picked up. So I guess that pretty much only leaves today and tomorrow. But there's no time like the present, especially when there's shortages of things out there that we want. Okay, how about a weekly challenge? This is kind of a no-brainer in my opinion, but I think it's something that a lot of people probably neglect, and I have trouble battling my own complacency, and this is a tedious chore that isn't really any fun, but I got to force myself to do it probably about once a year. So as winter approaches, I challenge everyone to do a full inventory of their food and supply stocks. I always end up doing this near the end of the year. Maybe it's because I have a little more time off work, or it's just when it seems natural for me to do it. I'm not sure. Basically, count how many of each thing you have. Figure out how many days or weeks or months worth of food that you have, as well as consumable supplies like toilet paper, toothpaste, medications, really anything else. Also, get rid of foods that are wildly past their expiration or use-by dates, or anything that looks just plain off. Bulging cans or discolored jars or whatever. You know what to look for. Wipe the dust off of your cans and jars. Check for rust or water damage, that sort of thing. It's easy to stock up and stash those things out of sight and forget about them for a long time. But you got to do your regular maintenance on something as important as your preps. So that's the weekly report for the week of November 22nd, 2020. I hope everyone has a very delicious and safe Thanksgiving. And as usual, I'm going to sort of cleanse our palate from all this depressing news by ending this video with dog videos. So thanks for watching, and until next time, this is Great Lakes Prepping.